Hey everyone, Combo here, back with another Empires and Puzzles video, and today I am going to do a full hero review and gameplay with Limeboire. So Limeboire is a newer moth that is in the game, and I just finished maxing them, double limit breaking, before Rush War started, and I have been using her a little bit in raids, but I want to do 6 raids with all 6 of my flags today to show you what she can do. Here are the stats for my version of her. I've got 1593 attack, 1713 shield, and 2834 health. I did take the defense and health talent path, so shield was the primary and then health as the secondary. So if I had shield and attack or health and attack, then I did take that, although I think there was only a couple of those. Most of them actually were shield and health. Actually, I guess there was a couple of them. And I did not put masterclass emblems on her because, as you can see, I don't have enough masterclass emblems of paladins, and I want to save those golden tokens for somebody else. I've only got 3 of those. For her special, she is very slow mana speed. It deals 260% damage to all enemies. All enemies fall into deep sleep and receive plus 80% increased damage while in deep sleep. The character in deep sleep cannot gain mana or attack. The character in deep sleep is woken once it takes 500 damage. The effect is uncleansable. Steals all dispellable buffs from the target and randomly distributes them on allies. Caster gains 3% mana for each stolen buff up to a maximum of 30%. And then, of course, for her family bonus for the Moth family, she's going to cast Moth Dust on an enemy each turn. And then she also does have the dodge special skill damage passive. This character has a 15% chance to dodge special skills that deal damage. She has the defense up ether power, so at the start of each battle, this hero gets plus 20% defense for 6 turns. So that is what she looks like. We are gonna go raiding with her. I am going to use Nautica in each of those battles next to her. That way we can speed her up. That is definitely the best way to use her, is if you have a mana increaser like Nautica, like Hather, or somebody else that's going to give her instant mana or increase her mana generation. All right, let's go dive into some raid flags. And I am only going to face opponents that are in the standard V formation so that we can kind of emulate what a ward battle would look like. And I'm going to try to find different types of tanks, especially ones that are in the top meta. So obviously Gurik is a very common tank that we would see. So I will face this team. They've also got Astrid, Ceres, Lee Q, and Quarry. So let's mix up our team here. Again, I do want to bring both Limeboire and Nautica. And then, so they've got Gurik, Ceres, Lee Q, Astrid, and Quarry. I am gonna bring in a couple purples, definitely Medea, so that we can try to get the shifting miles attack on Gurik. And then I want to bring another healer. Let's bring in Dueler Filler. And then I think I'm going to bring in Sartana as our other hero. Or do I want to bring another slow hero in? Now let's do this. I don't want to bring any growth or wither effect heroes. That's going to skew the battle too much. I would bring in Vard potentially next to Nautica, but let's use this. I may bring in some Woodland Fawns or some Astral Dwarves if we go up against like a Fergus tank team or anybody else that reduces mana. So we are going to go into battle with this. Let's see how this first flag with Limeboire goes. And we're going to have a massive purple diamond to start. I will take that, although before I do that, do I want to match the 3 blues in the bottom left? Nah, let's match the 7 purples or 6 purples that I had. And I only need 1 or 2 more purples for my special, so let's match these 3 purples here. And we're going to get everybody. Lee Q still has the taunt for 1 more turn. So let's match some tiles first, and then I will use my specials. Alright, let's see if we can hit Gurik with the Shifting Miles attack. And you know what? I'm going to kill Gurik. Normally I would... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to kill Gurik. Let's use Sartana on Astrid. Need to start matching some greens and blues, though, so that we can get Limeboire activated. Alright, Gurik is dead. And we are going to get our blues for Nautica. Nice cascade there. I will take that. And let's use Nautica right now. Then I'm going to hit this blue dragon so we can at least ghost that one green tile and maybe get some more. Nope. Let's hit this purple diamond so that I can get my purple specials back. And we're going to use the shifting miles attack on Saris. Actually, you know what? Let's use Duelfiller. And then, yeah, I'm going to use a shifting miles attack on Saris. And then Astrid is dead. Let's use Sartana on Saris. See if we can get some more greens, maybe. We did get one. Alright, we can match these 3 reds and match the 3 greens next turn so that we can get Limeboire finally activated. She's very slow at mana speed, so it does take a while to get activated, and we struggled with greens and blues early on as we get a bunch of blues, including a blue diamond. Alright, so let's use Limeboire first. It's not going to work on Saris and Quarry because of the Astral Dwarf family bonus that they have, but obviously it does work on Li Q. So he's asleep, and let's use Nautica. Let's kill off Saris with these purple tiles. That way we don't have to deal with him. And then you can see that Li Q stays asleep, again, until he gets 500 damage. Let's use Duelfiller. If I use Sartana or Medea, obviously that's going to be more than the 500 damage. So let's actually see how much damage Sartana can do up against him because of that plus 80% extra damage. So she deals 530% damage. She has 2177 for an attack score. And Li Q does have some defense growth on him, and then also some other sort of ailment. It is really small there, but it's showing a defense ailment, even though he has the growth, but I don't see anything else on him other than the moth dust. Oh, it's actually showing what the minus or 80% increased damage is showing. All right, well, let's use Sartana, see what kind of damage. Normally in a battle like this, I would use Medea on Quarry, but I really want to see what the damage from Sartana with that high attack stat is going to be. Although Medea, she's got 2504 attack. She deals 450% damage, actually. Yeah, let's use her on Quarry, or for the shifting miles attack. Then we'll see what kind of damage that does to Li Q. 2525, and I have no attack growth or attack up. She does have critical hit, but that doesn't affect her special skill. So 2500 damage. That's a lot. All right, let's use Sartana on Quarry. And then I'm going to hit this blue diamond. And that cascade might kill Saris. Not quite. Although, Quarry killed Saris and then took damage. All right, well, we are 1 for 1 with Limeboire. Next up, we are going to go up against a Saris tank team. This will work out. They've also got Salnus, Duelfiller, Sung Jiang, and Philomena. So for this battle, I think I might actually keep the same team here. I do like Medea for the shifting miles attack. I could bring in Oniwakamaru for a healer slash, not healer, rather, taunter. He's got the undispellable taunt. Do I want to do that or keep Duelfiller in there? Yeah, let's keep this same team here. All right, well, we got a lot of greens this time. That's cool. I'm going to start off with the 4 purples all the way on the right first, though, because Medea and Sartana both activate in 7 tiles. Now, can I set up a green diamond somehow? I can. Let's match these 3 reds. It's going to allow me to set up a green diamond this next turn. And the green diamond's going to go off. Don't set off Ceres, please. Okay, cool. All right, let's use Limeboire. Again, that's not going to work on Salnus or Ceres. So this is also good to know for heroes that work good against Limeboire. And Philomena also has a 75% chance to resist it because of her family bonus. And Song Jiang also had the ailment immunity passive. So literally the only person it actually worked on was Dueler Fuller. All right, now let's match the 3 purples up against Ceres. I'm kind of in a rock and a hard place because Ceres is about to go off. And if he hits any of the 3 on the right, then I'm going to get silenced. Except Nautica does have that passive where he cannot be silenced. I think we're going to take a chance and match these purples up against Ceres. Not the cascade I wanted. Because pretty much everybody's going to get silenced right now, no matter what. Alright, well, at least we have Nautica who can resist it. And Sartana resisted too because of her Toon passive. I am going to see about killing Ceres with Sartana. And then I should be able to kill Salnus with those purple tiles over there on the right. I am going to hold off on using Nautica for a turn or 2, I think, though. Let's see if we can kill off Salnus. Perfect. And actually, Dueler Fuller didn't get silenced either. I think because of the ailment immunity passive or ether power that she has. Is that what she has? Not quite sure, but I think that was it. Let's use her first, and then I'm going to use Nautica to heal as well, I think. Or do I want to wait on Nautica? Nah, let's use Nautica now, because I'm going to actually use blues and greens up the middle, which should kill Ceres. Perfect. Of course, Song Jing's going to go off. Hopefully not up against Limeboire. Although I've got the ailment immunity right now that Dueler Fuller just gave me, so that would have worked out fine anyway. Okay, let's hold on to Dueler Fuller. Let's use nobody else, actually. I want to get Limeboire activated. Or we could get a massive blue diamond cascade. Cool. Not what I was going for. It's going to kill Song Jiang, isn't it? Alright. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I want to get more of the gameplay with Limeboire activated. And actually, I might try to even, next time, just make it so that I am not going up against Astral Dwarves or Woodland Fawns as much. Alright, silence is gone. Let's use Limeboire on Dueler Fuller. She does have that Firestorm Shield shenanigan. And that got removed from Limeboire. Oh, because she steals buffs after she casts Asleep. So Dueler Fuller did not go asleep because she had the ailment immunity, but then the buff was stolen afterwards. Okay. Alright, now let's do some tile dumping, I think. Although I don't want to match this yellow diamond because there's going to be a bunch of yellow tiles that go up against Dueler Fuller. Maybe I do. I think I need to. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, we should be able to get Dueler Fuller special with that massive cascade. Cool. We've got everybody special. Let's use Limeboire. And remember, I do have some attack wither, so these attacks will be a little bit less. And Limeboire, or rather Dueler Fuller, actually resisted it with her Master Mana Shield shenanigan. That's not cool. We might just have to kill her the old school way. I was hoping to display how much extra damage again it would be with her, but Let's try weathering the storm and getting through these next 4 turns of the ailment immunity being there. Either way, I'm going to kill her, though, this next turn. Okay, let's do this with Limeboire. See if we can hit her with the Deep Sleep. And she resisted it again. Alright. Well, let's end this battle. Alright, not the display of Limeboire that I was hoping to show you all that battle. Hopefully this next flag will be a little bit different here. We've got a bunch of yellows, and they've also got Bernadette, they've got Astrid, Quarry, and Gurik. So actually, Quarry will be the only one that will be able to resist this based off of their classes. Gurik is a cleric, so he will have a chance. Goldrip is a sorcerer. So it will definitely hit Goldrip, Astrid, and Bernadette, possibly Gurik, and then Quarry will have a 75% chance to resist. So we will go up against this team. I am going to keep the same team. Yeah, because I like the Shifting Miles attack up against Bernadette. I'm going to start off with this yellow diamond. Let's match these 3 greens up against Gurik. I'm going to hit the yellow diamond now. I need to do some tile dumping. I've got like no purples on the board. I'm going to hit the blue dragon, which is going to set off the red diamond. Really hoping I get some purples, and we did that time. Awesome. Now, Gurik's about to go off, but that's okay. I'm going to match the 3 blues on the top right to set off that little cascade of red, but it's going to make it so I can match some purples next turn and get the Shifting Miles attack on Bernadette. So let's match these 4 purples up against Goldrip. And now let's heal with Duelifler and use the Shifting Miles attack on Bernadette. And then I'm going to use Sartana on nobody right now, because Astrid's about to heal. Let's match some blues, though, to get Bernadette going. She sent that over to Quarry. Very nice. Let's heal with Nautica. And we might be able to cast or get Limeboire activated in the next turn or 2. Let's match these 3 greens. I'm holding off on Sartana for a moment to see where I might need her. Let's match the 3 yellows here, or the yellow diamond rather. I'm going to use Sartana on Gurik right now, and then I'm going to hit this yellow diamond. See where that Shifting Miles attack goes. Let's match these 3 greens. That should give me Limeboire special. Perfect. Okay. Now, let's use Limeboire. I'm going to need to heal very soon. Alright. So, everybody's asleep except Gurik. So I need some more purple tiles. Let's match these purples over here. Goldrip and Astrid are already awoken because they've already got more than 500 damage. So that's a little not ideal. We definitely need to heal again. Let's match these 3 greens up against Gurik. It appears that, I mean, depending on how you're going to use Limeboire, that maybe a heavy stack would not be ideal to use her. That way the tile damage doesn't give more than that 50% damage to get them out of the deep sleep. Please stay alive, Dueler 4. Thank you. Let's use Limeboire again. Alright, everybody's asleep except Quarry. Let's see what kind of damage we can do to Astrid over here. And then I'm going to hit the purple diamond again. That's going to give me my purple specials again. Alright, let's use Dueler Floor to heal. Everybody else stay alive. And then Nautica to heal. And then let's use Sartana on Astrid. And I'm going to see if I can kill off Gurik with these purple and blue tiles here. That's probably going to set off Bernadette, and I don't have Medea anymore to have her have the shifting mouse attack. Alright, I am going to match these 3 greens. I was hoping that was going to give me enough mana for Limeboire, but not quite. Alright, let's match the greens on the right. Actually, Quarry has that slime revive for 1 more turn. Let's not attack him. Bernadette's going to go off anyway, so let's hit her with the blue dragon here. Actually, I may as well... Yeah, let's just do that. Of course, now I have Limeboire. Alright, everybody's a painting except Sartana. We can kill Quarry now. Perfect. I'd like to kill off Astrid if we can before she has a chance to revive anybody. And we should be able to do it with these painting specials. Let's match these purples here. And then hopefully we can kill Astrid with this last painting. Perfect. And let's use Sartana on Bernadette. Alright, she's dead. We might be able to salvage this battle, actually. Alright, and Gold Drip died from the Molten Core damage, and we are 3 for 3 with Limeboire. I honestly wasn't sure we were going to win that battle, but I will certainly take it. We've got another Gurik tank team, and they've also got Astrid, Sable, Fafnir, and Lee Q. I think I'm going to probably just keep the same team. It seems to be working out pretty well. Even with Medea dying that battle, we were still able to pull out to win that battle. Alright, now... as far as who will be able to resist Limeboire, I think Gurik is going to be the only one to have a potential to resist it because of the Cleric class, and then also Sable, actually, because Sable is Cleric as well. All right, let's start off with these 3 reds horizontally in the top left. That's going to set off 2 cascades of blues and greens underneath. Now let's match these 3 blues on the left up against Lee Q. Let's match these 3 purples on the bottom right. And we've got some more greens we can match, and more importantly, some more blues so that I can get Nautica's special, although he must have had some sort of negative mana element, because I thought I had 3 sets of blue matches. Let's match these purples now. Now we're going to get our blues here. Perfect. Alright, let's use Nautica. And then match these 3 green tiles up top. So I kind of can't use Limeboire because of Lee Q's taunt. So I'm going to hold on to all of my specials. And let's match these reds and yellows here. Hopefully I got a purple so I can heal somewhere. Nope. I am going to match these 3 blues up against Fafnir. Hopefully I get a purple. That'll work. Okay. I do not want to set off Fafnir again, though. Everybody, please stay alive. Somehow everybody stayed alive just then and there, so we're going to heal with Dueler Fuller first. And she's also going to make it so that I don't gain any ailments for a few turns. Let's use Limeboire now to put everybody into that deep sleep. And it only worked on Astrid and Lee Q. It did say protected. I thought Lee Q had the taunt no longer, but that's okay. Let's use Medea on Fafnir. We've got 2 enemies asleep. I'm going to use Sartana on Sable. And I think I'm just going to stay away from the left side so that they stay asleep. Let's match these 3 purples on the right over here. Definitely going to need to heal again soon. Let's match these 3 blues, or 4 blues over here. So I can match 3 blues next turn to get Nautica. Everybody stay alive, please. Thank you. Alright, now we're going to have Limeboire and Medea special again. Let's use Limeboire first. Alright, everybody's asleep except Gurik. Cool. Let's use... How many more turns do I have the Slime Revive shenanigan? 1 more turn. Alright, we're going to wait a turn to use Medea special. Oh no, don't go off, Fafnir. That's not ideal. Alright, everybody's still alive. Let's use Dueler Fuller, and then I'm going to use Sartana on Gurik. I think. Now let's kill Fafnir first so they don't get another Mega Minion. I'm going to have to use Medea on both. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's use the main part of Medea on Gurik. That should also kill Fafnir. Of course, they're reviving with their fighter class. Cool. Let's use Medea, or rather Sartana on Gurik now. Almost dead. Let's match these 3 greens up against Gurik. Let's see if we can kill Fafnir with this 1 tile. Actually, let's match these blues and reds over here. And of course, they're reborn again. Gurik is so annoying to go up against. Let's ghost these blue tiles. Hopefully Nautica stays alive. Probably not, though. Yeah, he's dead. We are not going to win this battle. Let's see if we can do some damage up against Sable with the purples and greens over here. Stay alive, Limeboire. Get one more deep sleep in here. And Lee Q had the taunt on anyway. Alright. Well, taunt is not good to use with or against Limeboire. Although if you have a taunter, then obviously that's going to work out. I think I'm just going to flee this battle at this point because I'm definitely not going to win it and they're going to kill me in the next turn or two anyway. So let's move on to our next battle. Another learning lesson as far as bringing Limeboire against taunters. Not a good idea. All right, let's see who else we got next here. We're going to re-roll this one because that's not a very tough team. That's not a standard V, not a standard V, no standard V. Bunch of no standard Vs in a row. Come on. I'm losing food. Come on, Empires and Puzzles. Give me a standard V here. We got Moonbell. I guess depending on your alliance, it could be a situation where you may see a Moonbell, but I'm going to skip this one. Not a standard V. We've got a Dueler tank team. They've also got Flamehide, Hrothgar, Sable, and Auricork. So everybody... Although, Hrothgar does have the passive that cleanses, so he might not be good to bring up against, or it might not be good for a Limeboire to bring up against, so let's reroll this one. They've got a couple of Glass Heroes to reflect it. We're going to reroll that one. Not a standard V. Not a solid team. Not a standard V. Not a standard V. No standard V. Man, losing a ton of food here. Come on, Empires and Puzzles. Here we go. Another Guruk tank team. All right. I guess we'll go up against this. They do have one Astral Dwarf with Ceres who will have a 75% chance to resist it. And then Guruk and Dueler Filler will have a 75% chance to resist it as well. And let's see how this fifth flag here goes. I'm going to start off with the 3 greens up against Ceres. No. I don't want to match tiles up against Ceres. Let's match the 3 greens vertically up against Guruk. He's going to go off at least once anyway, so we may as well try to force that early if we can, and then time my specials so that it's when that Slime Revive shenanigan ends. I do love the word shenanigan, in case if any of you didn't realize that. Nice cascading. I'm going to hit this blue dragon. I'm not going to bring that other blue tile down because I don't need it for Nautica special. Let's use Nautica. And then I'm going to match these 3 purples with the cascade of blues. That might send off Grendel's mother, but I don't think so. It wasn't going to, but that last cascade did. Cool. Limeboire dodged it. That's awesome. I'm going to use Medea on Ceres. I do not want to deal with the Wither effect, and let's match these 3 greens up against Ceres. That's actually going to give me Limeboire. Perfect. Let's use Limeboire. So Guruk resisted it. So did Grendel's mother. Grendel's mother is a sorcerer. Must have something to do with the family bonus or passive from the Beowulf family. I'm going to use Sartana on Guruk. If I do him, then he's going to be reborn as a slime. That's going to be for 4 more turns, man. All right. I think I can just match tiles that are of colors I don't have, like these reds up against Dueler Filler, and those yellows. If I match the 4 purples, that's going to take her out of sleep, though. Let's match these 3 yellows. I'd like to match tiles on the left if I can. Actually, let's match the 3 yellows, yeah. Then I can match the 3 greens next turn. Don't set off Gurik again before it expires. That wouldn't be nice. He does have Moth Dust now. I also really need to heal, so let's match these 3 purples here. And Astrid's already awoken anyway. Nautica's dead. That's not good. How many more turns is the Slime Revive for? 1 more turn, okay. Let's match these 3 greens up against... Nope, the 3 blues up against Astrid. That one tile's gonna be enough to set off Gurik, isn't it? Damn it. I was trying to make a safe play that would not set off a cascade. And we're probably gonna lose this battle too. Alright, let's match these 4 purples. Dueler Flare is gonna die probably over the next turn or 2. Yeah, 594 curse damage. Damn. Alright. Well. Probably should have maybe used Sartana on Gurik and just killed him and sent him into the Slime Revive. Limeboire is now silenced, of course. Let's use Medea on Grendel's mother. We've got a green diamond we've got here now, although it's going to be a little too late for that. And Limeboire is dead, and Sartana is about to die. I'll just let them kill me. And we'll go into one more battle. I think I'll change up the team a little bit here based off of what I've learned. And next battle, we are going to go up against a not Dueler Filler tank team, or rather, it wasn't a standard V. This one's a Rosalind tank team. They've got a Taunter, though, so let's stay away from that. This one has a couple Astral Dwarves. Let's stay away from that. This one has Fergus and Dueler Filler or Kark Flamehide and Armand Charmin. So, yeah, let's go up against this. I'm going to switch up the team a little bit, though. Let's bring in Oniwakamaru. And going to want another healer in case if I cannot get Nautica activated. Let's bring in Rosalind. She'll resist the instant mana reduction and have the Mega Minion to safely cleanse any ailments. And then let's also bring in somebody else to do some damage, since I've got nobody else to do damage other than Limeboire. I'm going to bring in Toon Richard. And I am going to just switch this troop here real quick. All right, let's go into battle with this. I don't feel great about this team, but who we're going up against, this should work. Okay, I'm going to start off with the three yellows horizontally. It's going to set off a little cascade of blues, and I can match 4 blues next turn. And then I can hit that blue dragon to get Oniwakamaru's special activated. Now, I am going to use Oni now. Let's match these 3 reds. Trying to set off Fergus before Oni's taunt goes away. Give me a blue tile. Come on. Let's match these 3 yellows so I can get Rosalind special. And we get a nice cascade of blues. Perfect. Let's use Rosalind here, and then I'm going to use Richard on the 3 on the left, and then let's use Nautica here, and let's start matching some green tiles now. Although I am going to need another blue for Oniwakamaru. Not ideal with Fergus about to go off again. Let's match these yellows. Hopefully I can get a blue in the middle. We did not. So interesting, because Aurikark actually makes it so that one enemy goes into a deep sleep, and he just attacked Nautica, who is a Construct Core and has the passive where this character has innate resistance against special status ailments that block special skills. So Construct Cores are also resistant against the deep sleep, which does make sense. All right, Fergus is going to go off anyway, so let's match some tiles up against him. Unfortunately, Limeboire's mana is going to get decreased, even though we just got her special. Before I match any other greens, I'm going to wait for Rosalind's Mega Minion to safely cleanse. Let's match these reds on the bottom here, since Dueler Ford is about to go off anyway. And we were able to kill Aurikark with the Mega Minion. That's cool. Now let's match these greens and purples here. Quite a cascade. Almost gave me Limeboire special. I've got 3 greens I can match though, and that should give me Limeboire, and we can put everybody into deep sleep. I'm curious if this is going to work on the Garrison Guards, because honestly I'm not positive. Choose Rosalind to heal. Everybody stay alive. Oh, she's asleep. No. Alright. That's not cool. Let's match these. And actually, that worked against nobody. The deep sleep. There are a lot of classes of heroes and families that resist it, so definitely interesting to note about that. Let's match these 4 blues here. See if we can do some damage against that Mega Minion. Would really love for everybody to stay alive. Nope, only walk them out as well. Let's match these 3 greens over here on the left. I'm going to match these 3 blues, hitting that red diamond, do some tile dumping here. Really need some blue tiles so I can heal. So let's match these 3 blues on the top right here. Everybody stay alive. Give me a blue tile. I think Limeboire is going to be dead, though. Richard's dead. Yeah, this battle is definitely going to be over. Good to know about the Garrison Guards even blocking the, or resisting the special skill block. I'm going to have to go back and look at the video of this afterwards to take a look at what it said, if it said resist or if it said something else when I did use Limeboire, because nobody, it worked on nobody. Alright. Let's flee this battle, since obviously it's going nowhere, and Limeboire is dead already. And I actually just went back and looked at that battle to see what happened before I came back and gave my recap of Limeboire, and it was because of the ailment immunity blocking from Dueler Fuller. Her special had gone off recently, so everybody had the ailment immunity blocking, and Limeboire does steal buffs, but it's after she inflicts the sleep. So that is definitely something to be on the lookout for also, so you do not want to use her against Astral Dwarves, Woodland Fawns, any hero like Dueler Fuller or Hathor or anybody else that has that ailment immunity as part of their special. Obviously, you don't want to use her on any reflectors like Revna, and then any other heroes that are part of the Construct Core family, which we don't really see on defenses a lot anyway, because of those heroes being a little bit outdated, although there is a Construct Core series of heroes in beta testing right now, I believe, so when those heroes eventually come out, we'll have to see what those passives look like. So I would love to say that I love Limeboire, and I think that she's an awesome hero, but she's very niche as far as which heroes you can use her against, and that deep sleep does wear off pretty quickly, even just with tile damage. And if you think about all of the effects of like some of the damage over time, which is a big thing right now in the game. So obviously I was using Dueler Fuller for a lot of those battles, so the molten core damage that happens with the damage over time from her, that was a big factor. But tile damage alone can be enough to get to that 500 damage to take somebody out of deep sleep. But if you are smart about not hitting a certain side of the formation, which I wasn't really that smart about, I guess you could say. And the Molten Core from Dueler Fuller definitely sped up the deep sleeper, taking people out of sleep faster than I would have liked. I think it would be best to pair Limeboire with somebody like Nautica, like I said earlier, but also probably just with snipers. That way you can kind of just pick apart an enemy team one by one. Because if you're using heroes like Medea, hard hit 3-hitters that are going to deal more than 500 damage or attack all heroes, it's just going to take them out of that deep sleep right away. Clerics and monks I mentioned earlier are also classes of families that you would want to stay away from, or at least try to minimize how many of them there are on a team, because those are not good for the deep sleep since they have a good chance to resist it. Overall, Limeboire, like I said, a fun hero to use, but you have to be very specific on who you use up against her. If any of you have Limeboire and use her differently than I did today, definitely drop a comment down below on how you find it to be useful to use Limeboire. But that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy it or found it helpful. And if you did, hit that like button. Make sure you sub to my channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.